When I go and speak with communities, I try to talk about what they need to be prosperous and successful as a community. And I've tried to figure out a way to do that in a way that they will remember and will communicate all the things that we want the community to know. And so I've come up with the 5 P's of community prosperity. And here's what they are: perspective, people, planning, partnerships, and persistence. So let's look at these just briefly in turn. Perspective. Communities have to have the right perspective. They have to understand the big picture. The things that we talked about with the changes in the economy. We have to know that we cannot depend on the same kind of economy that we've had in the past. That if we're going to be successful as an economy, we've got to think about having a good education system, good workforce training, so that we have that human infrastructure we need to be successful as an economy. Also, in terms of perspective, it's important to focus on community development before economic development. A lot of times we like to think that we're going to recruit an industry from the outside when we don't have the community infrastructure to support it. So we need to think first about building a strong community with the human infrastructure, the physical infrastructure, and especially the civic infrastructure before we begin to think about recruiting outside industry. We've got to take care of the foundation first. So perspective is important, having the right sense of where we are in our economy. Secondly, people. Very important that we engage citizens and we focus on the quantity of leaders, not just the quality of leadership, but on the quantity of leadership. We need everybody in the community pulling in and doing what they can to make the community a better place. We need the involvement and the input of a wide range of folks from throughout the community if we're going to be successful. That's what separates the successful from the failing communities, the sense that people, instead of being apathetic and dependent, they get engaged and they say, we're going to make this place better. Nobody knows and cares about this place like we do, and so we're going to make a difference. If these problems are going to be solved, it's going to be up to us. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. That's the attitude that you find in successful communities. Also, it's important as you think about engagement to focus on engaging young people. A real problem in rural areas, and especially the Black Belt, is that we're no longer exporting things like cotton and soybeans. We're exporting our young people. The young people are leaving these rural areas in the Black Belt in great numbers, and we've got to figure out a way to get those folks engaged in the community, love the community, and to be invested in the community. And we do that through having youth leadership programs, through involving young people in all aspects of community life, in committees, in task forces, whatever may be going on, involve young people. We need to have a place that's youth-friendly, having things for them to do, so they will find a place in the community that will be give them things to do. The third P is planning. Very important that you have a sense of where you're going. If you don't know where you're going, any road will lead you there. So you've got to have a sense of direction in a community. So you've got to look at what your assets are, and you have to create a vision of what you can be, and then you plan and continue to plan, and then you work the plan. And so the idea of planning is a big part of what we do in our office, with the sense that you have to have a sense of engagement, but also you have to have a sense of planning, to have a goal, a vision, a plan, and you have to continually work that plan and never stop planning. The fourth P is partnerships. Extremely important that you build connections among stakeholders within the community and you work together. One of the biggest weaknesses that I've seen in my working communities is the fact that we often work in silos, meaning the government may have good programs that are going on, the schools may have good programs that are going on, the business community has good programs, the chamber does things, but what rarely happens is those stakeholders coming together and working with a common vision and plan. If we can do that, if we can get groups to come together, then you can see communities begin to make some positive progress. But as long as we divide scarce resources and work independently, we're not going to be successful. So we have to partner within the community. We also have to partner with our neighbors. We have to see our neighboring community as a rival only on the Friday night football games. But that is also rare. We need to think In a small community, in a small county that has few resources, few people, we can't be competitive. We don't have the tax base, the workforce, all the things we need. So if we're going to be successful, what we've got to do is we've got to think more broadly, think more regionally, and think if we can combine our assets and our resources with those of our neighbor, then we can be more successful. And so that's a philosophy that we need to have more of in our rural communities, and especially in the Black Belt. The last P is persistence. Don't give up. Because a lot of times when we talk about working together, we think about that together part, but we ignore that work part because it's hard work. It's very difficult to bring about positive change in a community. It requires a lot of work, patience, and persistence. One of my favorite quotes is by Jacob Ritz, who says this: "When nothing seems to help, I go and look at the stone cutter hammering away at his rock, perhaps 100 times, without as much as a crack showing in it. Yet to the 101st blow it was split in two, and I know it was not that blow that did it, but all that had gone on before." And so the idea is we have to keep hammering the rock. This is hard work and it takes a long time. So if you're going to revitalize a community, if you're going to make a Black Belt a place where people want to live and feel good about having their children grow up there, it's going to take work and people working together. Here's some of the resources on our website. I think that you could go there and find information about rural issues, the Black Belt, and some of our programs. And I would invite you to go and take a look at the resources on our website. But I've enjoyed being with you. I hope that you found something of use from my presentation.